Alphabet broke out its cloud revenue for the first time last week, reporting $8.9 billion in fiscal 2019 revenue and giving investors a sense of how Alphabet's cloud unit measures up to competitors like Amazon's AWS and Microsoft's Azure. Let's send it over to CNBC's John Fortt, who is sitting down with Google Cloud CEO Thomas Kurian right now. And that disclosure had a lot of people applauding, John.
It sure did, Scott. Thank you. Thomas, thanks for being with us here on CNBC. Fresh off that disclosure, and today you were at the Goldman Sachs Technology and Internet Conference as well.
Thank you, John, for having me.
Well, let's get right into some of those numbers. Google Cloud revenues grew by $4 billion last year, after growing by less than $2 billion the year before, I believe. Same time, AWS revenue grew at a slower rate than you, but still added $9.5 billion. So how do you catch a first mover that's moving that fast?
We're focused on building differentiated products, expanding our sales force, expanding our distribution channels very quickly, and we've been very pleased with the results. In addition to adding the revenue, our backlog grew. Ruth Porat talked about that on the earnings call. And we're seeing huge traction, not just through our direct sales force, which we've expanded, but also through our partner network.
Some confusion maybe about your growth rate versus Microsoft. How do you see it?
We're very confident that we're the fastest growing cloud provider. We have a mix of products in our cloud business as a whole. Ruth mentioned that our Google Cloud Platform revenue grew significantly faster than the aggregate number, and we're very confident because we're winning customers.
Amazon and Microsoft disclose margins. Why don't you?
Ruth, that's a question for Ruth and Sundar. I'm sure at the right time they'll think about that.
But you're open to it?
We're not saying we won't disclose margins. We're just getting towards that over a sequence of several months.
Okay. You also, at the Goldman conference, talked about Anthos, your part of your multi-cloud and hybrid strategy, I would say. You said it's seeing strong adoption. What numbers can you give me for that?
We're seeing very good traction with customers. We're seeing very strong growth in 3 segments: financial services, both in the U.S. and in Europe, because they want to work across clouds. And in Europe, there's a concern about concentration risk, so they want portability across cloud vendors. Second, independent software vendors and SaaS companies, they know they have to be across multiple clouds. They want a platform that works across those. And the third, we're seeing strong growth in retail, for example, because people want to have the ability to run some workloads in their data center and some workloads in the cloud. So we're seeing good growth in all of those different segments with Anthos.
How is that going to show up as revenue? Because I think about multi-cloud, that means they're maybe using you, but they're also using Azure. They're also using AWS. Yes. Do you think that if they're using Anthos over time, they're just naturally going to start using more Google Cloud?
So Anthos does not just provide you raw compute. It gives you the ability to manage it. We're also making our machine learning tools available. So many companies that are using it are not just using it for raw compute, but as a portability layer for all of our machine learning and other capability, and we get value from that.
I guess what I meant by that is, do you think you gain more share of wallet in the multi-cloud service, or is there some other way to be looking at it? Is it not just about infrastructure?
It's about both share of wallet and the material unit price that we get because of these value-added services like machine learning, security, monitoring that we add on top of Anthos.
I want to ask you about recent change happening at Google. Eileen Naughton is stepping down as HR chief, looking for a new one. She's staying at Google. But the search is on for a new CHRO. You're growing fast. You said you're tripling the size of your sales force in pretty short order. What does your organization need in a new CHRO?
Our organization, Eileen has been an amazing partner to us. She's moving back east to New York to be with her family. She's going to stay with us and help us find the right talent to support our growth as an organization and to support all of Alphabet. Eileen obviously worked with all of Alphabet. We've been extraordinarily positive on the growth we're seeing and the ability to bring great talent from both within Google as well as from other parts of the industry to our cloud organization. And so we're very committed to that.
All right. Thomas Kurian, CEO of Google Cloud. Thanks for being with us.
Thank you for having us.
Back to you.